Good morning everyone. I am Renu Sharma, Assistant Professor EC Department. Today I am going to start with the next lecture for Unit 2nd of Wireless and Mobile Communication, and the topic of today's lecture is Wireless Channel Modeling. So previously we have discussed these models, that is AWGN channel, Rayleigh channel, Reggian and fading channel, and today we are going to discuss this Nakagami fading model and Okumura and Hata model in detail. So first we will see what is Nakagami fading model. So fading is basically when the signal is transmitted from the transmitter to receiver, then it undergoes fading due to multipath propagation, and the strength of the signal will going to reduce with the increasing distance. Means when the distance will increase and there will be no direct line of sight exist between the transmitter and receiver, then the fading will take place. So the Nakagami distribution, also known as Nakagami M or Nakagami mu distribution, is a probability distribution first appearing in 1960. So in this year these two models are appeared, means these are analyzed, that is Nakagami M and Nakagami mu distribution. So it is a generalized way to model small scale fading for dense signal scatters, and it is one of the most common distributions for modeling the right skewed positive data set. Now what is right skewed? So skewing is basically right skewed and left skewed. So basically when the probability distribution function is designed, which is somewhat like a Gaussian distribution, then some of the signals are skewed to the right hand side and some of the signals are skewed to the left hand side. These depends on the data set that we are considering for visualizing this particular PDF. So it is generally used for the right skewed data. So the real world applications include modeling wireless signal and radio signals. This is the probability density function of this particular Nakagami model, where mu is nothing, it is the shape parameter, omega is nothing, it is the scale parameter, which means that omega is greater than 0 for all the values of x is greater than 0. So you can see that there are 3-4 parameters which are included in this particular PDF, that it is mu, there will be an omega, so omega and mu are described over here. So this parameter control the spread of the distribution, which means this particular dimension is controlled by this omega, that is the scaling parameter. Then the two parameters combined determine the height, steepness and concavity of the probability density curve. So this is related to the particular distribution function of this Nakagami model. Now this is the Nakagami fading model PDF, that is probability density function, you can see over here. So for the various values of omega and mu, let's say mu is 0.5 and omega is 1, then this particular graph will be there. Then mu is equals to 1, omega is equals to 1, then this green colored graph will be there. So you can see that when these values are increased, means for these three cases mu will be equals to 1 and omega will be equals to 1, 2 and 3. So you can see the steepness of the particular graph. Now this is for the first case, that green color, this is a red color for the second case, and this is for the third case. Now you can see that when mu is fixed and omega is changed, then the length, or you can say the distance from the initial to the ending point will be increased, or you can say that the spreading of the curve will be there when mu is fixed and omega will going to vary. Now and the other cases like mu is equals to 2, omega is equals to 1 and 2, then you can see that there will be a sharp particular value can be considered from this PDF, that is probability density function. Now the following points that should be noted corresponding to this Nakagami model, that if the envelope is Nakagami distributed, the corresponding instantaneous power is gamma distributed, which means that gamma distribution is also required to understand the basics of this Nakagami model. Then the parameter m is called as the shape factor of the Nakagami and or the gamma distribution. In the special case when m is equals to 1, Rayleigh fading is recovered with an exponentially distributed instantaneous power. Now you can see that when we consider m is nothing, it is just a parameter. If it is equals to 1, then it can be considered as an exponential increasing function. For m is greater than 1, the fluctuations of the signal strength reduced compared to the Rayleigh fading, which means if it is fixed to 1, then it is somewhat resemble to Rayleigh distribution, and if it is greater than 1, the value of m, then the fluctuations will be reduced, which is lesser as compared to the Rayleigh distribution. Now, next one is the comparison of Rayleigh region and Nakagami model, because previously we have discussed this Rayleigh and region distribution PDF, where specific probability density function of these characteristics, these models are used for designing the wireless channel model. So, in case of this region and Nakagami fading are the two generalization of the Rayleigh fading model. In literature, a Nakagami model is often used for analytical simplicity in case where region fading are more appropriate, would be more appropriate. So, basically in case of this Nakagami model, every time you want to design this particular model, there is a specified probability density function, but you have to but depending on the input parameters, every time it depends on the analysis that will be done by changing the input and the output parameters. Whereas, if we are talking about this region model, then it is more appropriate model, because its parameters are somewhat fixed. It will not going to change depending on the various surrounding parameters in which it is designed. So, the Nakagami model is sometimes used to approximate the PDF of the power of a region fading model. So, Nakagami is basically used to approximate the PDF of this region model. Now, the Nakagami model is not an appropriate approximation for region fading in the deep fades. The region and Nakagami model have fundamentally different densities for deep fades. So, basically when we are considering the deep fades are generally occur when there is large distance exists between the transmitter and receiver, and every time the signal will going to the characteristics or the energy of the signal will going to reduce as it travel from transmitter to the receiver. So, that is why it has an essentially different behavior for deep fades, such that the result on outage probabilities or error rates can differ in orders of magnitude. So, basically this is the comparison of Rayleigh region and Nakagami model. Now, next we will move to Okumura model. So, widely it is used for the signal prediction in urban areas. So, there are three different areas that are considered for this Okumura model, that is open areas, suburban area and urban areas. As you know that these three areas are dependent on the population. In case of open area, the population is very small, very less population will be there. Suburban areas, the population exists between open area and urban area, and the densely populated area is the urban area. So, for these three different area composition, we are having different types of equations. So, it is applicable, this Okumura model is applicable for the frequency, that is 150 megahertz to 1920 megahertz. So, it is typically extrapolate up to 3000 megahertz of frequency range. Then the distance d will be considered as 1 kilometer to 100 kilometer. Transmit antenna effective height will be 30 meter to 100 meters, that is for the transmitter antenna, and mobile antenna height will be 1 meter to 10 meter, that is the base station antenna. So, these are the two antenna heights that we can consider. Then it is based on the extensive measurements, means every time you have to select the range of frequency, then you can use this Okumura model. Now, this is the equation for the loss in case of this Okumura model. Now, you can see that this is defined at this L50 decibel frequency. LF is the frequency, that is the free space propagation loss, which is described in decibel. Then it is AMU, that is the median attenuation relative to free space additional losses in dB due to propagation in urban environment, where transmitter and receiver are act as a referenced height. So in the previous slide I have discussed that the transmitter height should be 30 meter to 100 meter and 1 to 10 meter will be the receiver height. So that's why we are using this parameter, where we have to select the frequency range and the height of the particular antenna. Then GHT is the base station antenna height gain. Every time you want to demonstrate this gain is always expressed in decibel. In mobile communication it is expressed in decibel. So this is related to the transmitter antenna. HR is related to the receiver antenna gain, that is also expressed in decibel. G area is the gain due to the type of terrain that we are considering. Terrain basically means population, it is related to population only, open area, suburban area or the urban area. So that's why this gain is related to the terrain also. Now next is free space loss. This is the equation for the Okumura model free space loss, where LFS is the free space is equals to 32.45 plus 20 log of D divided by 1 kilometer plus 20 log F divided by 1 megahertz minus 10 log GT minus 10 log GR. So GT is nothing, it is the transmitter antenna gain, GR is nothing, it is the receiver antenna gain. So this is GT and GR. F is the operating frequency which is in megahertz. D is the distance between transmitter and receiver and it is expressed in kilometers. Then which means, let's say this is transmitter, this is receiver, this is distance D, and F is the operating frequency, GT is gain related to this one and GR is gain related to this one. The remaining terms of Okumura model are provided in the graphical form as the family of curve. So this is the this is the graph that is been shown for different values of frequency and distance. Now you can see that this frequency is expressed in megahertz and this is the distance. So it models additional propagation losses due to the signal propagation with these referenced conditions. So terrestrial urban environment over a quasi smooth terrain is there. Base station effective antenna height will be there, that is considered as HTE, that is 200 meter. Then mobile antenna height is considered as 3 meter. So if the actual height of the transmitter and receiver or the propagation area type differ from those referenced, the appropriate correction needs to be added. So basically if we are considering this receiver antenna or the transmitter antenna height, then these are fixed for this approximate value for the urban environment. Means for the urban we have to use this HT is 200 meter and HRE will be 3 meter. So this is theoretical value, practically you can vary these values. Now next is Okumura model base station effective height gain, that is GHTE. So you can see that this is the effective base station height, that is HB, which is expressed in meters, and this is D by kilometer of the variable. Now at the effective height of 200 meter, all the curves meet and no correction gain is required basically. So GHT is equals to 0 dB. Base station antennas above 200 meter introduce positive gain and antenna lowers than by 200 meter have a negative gain factor. Then the parameter of family of curves is the distance between the transmitter and the receiver basically. So what is GHTE? This is the gain of the transmitter antenna, 20 log of this is also the height of the transmitter antenna divided by 200 meter. So HTE will be expressed in 1000 meters to 30 meter. Now Okumura found that GHTE varies at a rate of 20 dB per decade for the effective height between 30 meter to 1000 meter. Now you can see these values are defined for the different base antenna height, and these are defined at D by kilometer, that is decibel. 20 dB per decade graph has been drawn. Now this is the Okumura model effective transmitter antenna height. Now you can see that it is expressed at 0 kilometer, this is the transmitter height. At 3 kilometer, this will be the value. Then at 15 kilometer, this will be the value. So this is the radiation center line. This is height of the average terrain that we have considered as a threshold value, so that if it crosses this threshold level, then it says that the particular signal is in good quality. Then if it is, means it is less affected with noise. This is the effective antenna height. So the terrain is averaged along the direction of radio path over the distance between 3 kilometer to 15 kilometers. Effective antenna height is determined as a difference between the height of BTS antenna and the height of the average terrain. So basically, if there is no line of sight exist between the transmitter and receiver, then building will be there, or different intermediate nodes are there, whether a tree can exist, a lamp post can exist. So that counts under, that will be count under terrain value, average terrain height. So that should also be kept in mind when we are designing this Okumura model. So Okumura model free space, it's wholly based on measured data and does not provide any analytical explanation. So every time you are measuring any data, it will going to change depending on that particular value. So for many situations, extrapolation of the derived curves can be made to obtain the values outside the measurement range. The validity of such extrapolations depend on the circumstances and smoothness of the curve in question. And the main disadvantage of this particular Okumura model is its slow response to rapid changes in terrain, which means that when we want to model a wireless channel and we want to use this particular model for the transmission of internet, for the transmission of any voice signals, then it's you can say the feedback is quite slow, because it will not going to change its characteristics rapidly. As rapid the terrain will going to change, because it is not analytical model, analytical explanation, it is not there. Every time you have to measure the data, which will going to change with the situation, with the distance. So there will be a very slow response. That is the main disadvantage of this Okumura model. The model is fairly good in urban and suburban areas, but not as good in rural areas. So it is good in these two areas. Now, common standard deviations between predicted and measured path loss values are, so these are the standard deviation values, which will vary from 10 dB to 14 dB of scale. Now, this is the simple modeling of path loss is still dominated by Hata model. So, after this Okumura model, there is a Hata model which is explained, and it is explained in 1980, where the propagation results are fitted to a simple analytical expression which depends on antenna height, environment, frequency and other parameters. So, these are some of the parameters that you have to consider while designing this Okumura and Hata model, because these are outside model, these are not indoor models. So you have to consider the terrain height, frequency of operation, antenna height and environment you have to consider while designing this particular model. Hata method is basically an extension of Okumura model and employs propagation curve instead of the parametric equations. So basically it is based on the propagation curve but not on the parametric equations, because in case of this Okumura model, every time you have to make corrections, means it will be updated depending on the terrain. It is not fixed, so it is time consuming, whereas in case of this Hata model, it is dependent on the propagation curves only, which is quite constant as compared to the Okumura model. So predictions are made via series of graphs. The thoroughness of work has made the model the most widely used macro cell prediction model and is often regarded as standard against which the researchers can benchmark new approaches. So after this Hata model, new models are also been showed. Now this does not have any of the path specific correction which are available in the Okumura model. So this is a quite better model as compared to the Okumura model itself. So There are divided into three areas, that is open area, suburban area and urban area. So open area, open space, no tall trees or buildings are there in the path, plot of land cleared for 300 to 400 meter, and especially these farmlands or rice field or open fields are considered under this open field area. Next, then this suburban area, village or highway scattered by trees and houses, some obstacles near the receiving antenna but not very congested, so this is considered under this suburban area. In case of this urban area, built up city or large town with buildings and houses with two or more storages, or large villages with close house and tall thickly grown trees. So these are considered under urban areas, which is densely populated area, which has large number of terrain, large number of hops are there in between the transmitter and receiver, and there is no line of sight exists between transmitter and receiver. Of course, in case of this open area, there exists line of sight, because the terrain or the number of hops or the multipath propagation is less as compared to the urban areas. The negative side of this Okumura-Hata model is that it is valid only for the frequency between 150 MHz to 1500 MHz with the base height of 30 to 200 and receiving is 1 to 10 meters. So these are the negative points for this model, because it is specified in a required frequency range and it is specified in transmitter and antenna height is also fixed. So this is basically showing the set of equations on measurements and extrapolations from the curve derived by the Okumura model. This is specifically related to Hata formula for the median path loss in urban areas. So Hata presented the urban area propagation loss as a standard formula along with the additional correction factors for application in other situations like the suburban and rural areas. However, the model neglects the terrain profile between the transmitter and the receiver, that is hills or other obstacles between the transmitter and receiver, and which are not considered. Then these are located normally. The standard Hata model for the median path loss in the suburban areas is given by this equation, that is L urban in the urban area, which is expressed in decibel, which is 69.55 plus 26.16 log FC. FC is nothing, it is the cutoff frequency or the frequency of operation, minus 13.82 log HTX. HTX is the transmitter height, antenna height, minus AHRX, that is the height of the receiver, plus this one. The D is the distance between the transmitter and receiver. So this is nothing, it is the Hata model formula. And these are having values fixed. Transmitter height antenna is 30 to 200 meter, receiver height antenna is 1 to 10 meter, frequency is 150 to 1500 megahertz of frequency range is there. D is the distance in kilometers between transmitter and receiver. So for suburban areas, this is the loss in decibel, that is L urban minus 2 log FC by 28 whole square minus 5.4, and for a terrain category such as the north of Mauritius, this will be the antenna correction factor. So this will be the formula. So in this lecture we have discussed Okumura-Hata model in detail, and also we have discussed about the Nakagami model. So this is all about the wireless channel modeling. Thank you.